people in Western countries, it's kind of like the 1st of January and you might be printing some stuff out. This is my first print project and we're going to take a look at it. So with that being said, yeah, it just finished. So let's take a look and see what we got here. Yeah, there it is. It is all done. And there's a little bit of an issue on that there, but this is what we're printing. And that is going to be hopefully a miniature holder that has that you can hold in your hand. You got little braces and stuff like that, and it's going to use some rubber bands and stuff, and we'll see how well this works, if it works at all. So with that, let's go ahead into the print room and the horrible lighting that we have here, and we'll take a look and pull this off. And there's our wonderful K2 Plus. And there it is. Seems like it turned out okay. And so we will take this thing out of here. Look at that. Pretty good, pretty good. It's printed in Polymaker PLA. And so what we're going to end up doing here is we'll take it over to our room, into the studio, and we need to do something. We need to, we're going to need a piece so that we can do this, because basically we need to get rid of this. We'll throw this up over there, hopefully. Okay, that's one way to do it. Okay. The joys of live streaming. And we need to go back here. And we need to pick up the thing. The thing that, we got those, we printed those out. Where is the stand? Oh, there it is. This is what I wanted. This is what I wanted. So yeah, we're gonna have to do a little bit of a change here. So we'll kind of throw that there. Hold on. I'll set this stand over here. And I'll throw you all in here. And hopefully we'll be able to get a take a look and see what we got. I think that's going to be good. That is as good as it's going to get. Oh, and the other thing we can end up doing, we can get our tablet on. And now we don't want that. We want that one there. Alrighty. Okay, for those of you who don't know, I'm Steve, the retired hobby tech guy, and I just like throwing my cameras around. But here it is. This is it. So this turned out, this part turned out good. And the only thing that I had an issue with was this top part, because as it started, you could see a little bit of a line there, and this kind of like would move a little bit. So definitely going to need some supports for here, but let's see how this turns out. So there's a brace, here's a brace, and there's some little support nodules that we've got going on. And there. So now here's the thing, is that we have some supports, and I think we'll see if we can. So this should hold in the hand, but we got to get rid of some support here. Man, I thought I changed that top Z distance to 0.25. That's going to be interesting. We got a little bit of a little bit of a mess on our bottom hook there. That didn't turn out as planned. Okay, let's see how the other ones turned out. That one didn't do well. It popped right off. Okay, unfortunately. So we need to do something a little bit different on that. So I think what we need to end up doing is just kind of like put something that's flush with this, so these pieces have some support there. Because yeah, this isn't gonna work. As you can see, yeah. Alrighty, back to the drawing board with that, but not too bad. The rest of it's turned out okay. And these turned out fine. This, that's good. We have these. Now this has got some holes on the bottom. So just like we have these indentations here, we've got some little, I made a holes for those as well. And I'm wondering how those turned out. Ooh, look at how nice those are coming out. Let's see if we can get these going. There we go. Should have one probably right around there. Yeah. We should have another one right there. Well, those came out good. I did regular supports on these, so now the question is, will these marry up? Yeah, they do, for the most part. Yeah, I mean, that's good enough for government work. Okay. I didn't go through and make the holes bigger, so I just kind of said, we'll see what happens. I figured, you know, I spent so many hours doing this, but we can end up doing that. So, ooh, that one fit on nice. Nice. Okay. So this fits on that, and we can see if these will fit on that as well. The whole idea is to come on, get out of there. Is that we can have this on there. Does that fit? That fits. So we got a little bit of a hand grip there. It's kind of big, but I don't know. Maybe we'll make this a little bit smaller on that. But this will go on top of there, and the whole idea is that we'll have some rubber bands go around to these down here to hold these in. Let's do this one. Do that. We're gonna need, I just so happen to have some hair bands. Have one more. Yes, I do. So the idea on this, and to go like that, I wonder if those are, I need to do some lining up. I need to line up So that's something. So this doesn't line up with this. So it should be, so I have a little bit of adjusting to do. Okay, so it'll be a little off. But these are supposed to go in here like that. And kind of go in there. And then we did 3 of these. And that one would go, oops. Like that. So I think these are good. These will stay. It's just this one down here is going to be a little messed up. So, but you get the idea. So we need to change these so that this is in line with this one. So I'll have to just do a little rotate stuff action there. I didn't even think about that. What are the odds? And then we need some rubber bands. So a rubber band. And we have rubber band. Actually, I think it'd be better if we did the rubber band around these things first. So those slide in there. Those are pretty good. Nice. And then we're going to get a rubber band. And we'll put this around it. And I think we might have to double this up. So that way we can get some good tension on it. Maybe even 3 times. Maybe these need to be a little bit, either get smaller rubber bands or, I don't know, it might just be the way it's got to be. So then we'll put this. That's so close, so close. And then we can put these on. And these will go over top the rubber bands. See, that was kind of the idea, is that these would hold in and it would hold the rubber bands there. Nice. Ooh, that broke off. No. Okay. So we've got that. So there. That's kind of tall. But now the question is, will it hold a miniature? That is the other question. So we will throw it in a miniature. And would you look at that? It works. This is just, this needs to come in a lot more, and it probably just needs, let me get a piece of paper. You know, I knew this was, see, because I was going to take this piece and have this fit and just have a hole, but then I realized in the top, instead of doing this here, and this is like a games workshop, whatever, and people, when they do the hole, it might not fit, or it might be too loose, and so that's why I saw this, and I was like, hey, this would be a good idea. So that's why I went with this here. I think we need to adjust some of these so we get some more more real estate to kind of go out a little bit more. So a little bit of adjustment on those things there. And that's why I made this long, is because when this goes out and it's fully extended for large miniatures, this would compensate for that. Or this would compensate for that. Now this, that's just way too much. So, we probably just need to go like 90. And so it's 90 high. And then probably about right there. But if we do a larger miniature, let's see how this will work. Here's a larger one that we ended up doing. So that's the 3D, that's the FDM printed work that we did at 0.08. And we'll see if this works. So will it? Oh, that piece is falling off. Oh no. No. Or I could just try to just kind of jerry rig that way. Okay, so let's see, can this work? For a larger miniature. Of course, you got to put it on this miniature base I have is just a little messed up. And we probably, what I'm seeing is we're going to need like a tab. What would be good is a tab on this so that you can pull this out. So that seems to work. And we need to adjust the height of this to give it a little bit more height. And get a rubber band that's trying to sneak under. So we got a couple of issues that we need to do. But that seems to work. Okay, let's take some notes here, see what we got going on. Brace. What we need to do with the brace is maybe let's see, we've got a circle, and then we've got this piece, and that piece just needs to be maybe 10. And we can make it, yeah, 10. Because that would put that, let's see, right about there, and then that would come up there. So that could work. But let's see. Yeah, it definitely needs something to pull these out because you don't really have anything. So yeah, a nice little tab to be able to or extend these out and make them a little bit higher, and then a tab so that you could pull it out. And you're gonna, I'm seeing a little bit of a crack on that piece right there. So definitely gonna have to make that solid. So, but the brace, that piece is gonna come out. And we need to make that like 10, unless, yeah, you really need something to be able to pull that out. And then on the inside of this, it might be good to have like a circle in there. So that way there's something stopping these, because they're kind of running into each other. So we can put a circle in the center. So to top. Just draw a circle, and then like that. Circle. Head. That is going to be 10, and then up. And that. So this is a little bit of a bigger miniature, so we can end up putting it 100. Yeah, we can do that at about 100. So that'll cut off, because that is way, way too big. So we want the very top of this to be about right there. So that way we got a little bit of room. You know, like about 20 extra on the top of this guy, so I think that'll be good. And actually, I'll be there. So we got that. Oh, I wanted to see if we could use that second one there. Yeah, that is just not working the way I wanted it to work. It looked good. Okay, we're not going to force it. The regular miniature, that will work. It just needs, it's just an odd, you know what? Maybe it'd work if this was just set, if it was permanent. Or like this piece was just kept on the top piece. Like that, and then these would be the two that would move. And then you have like I think that might end up working a little bit better. So that way you're not trying to finagle with all three. This one is set. And then with these, you could end up have a little tab or make a bigger tab. And then you're able to pull that out and pull these out to get your miniature in there. I think that's what we'll end up doing. Okay, so I'll have that come out, and we'll do that little piece there. Head to top. That. And let's see. And the other thing we'll end up doing is this. That. It's got another one, that, and like that. Add tab. Make bigger. I'll do that. So, okay. So we got that going on. So at least if you pulled this, you're able to get the miniature out of there. So yeah, we need to keep that in place. We need to have that so it's like permanent. about right there. Matter of fact, we could probably even glue that and do that, but we'll print out another one. And then these will just end up moving on their own. So we can just keep that in place. And then we need a tab on these. So we'll just kind of put a little pull tab. We'll just add a little ball. How about we add a ball there? Or sphere, whatever you end up. Ball, sphere, whatever. Okay, the rest of this is good. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. 3. And base. Bottom base unit. And with this, we want to line up hooks. Is my handwriting atrocious? It is. So I need to do that, and then B, that works out pretty good though. And then of course, we're gonna have to make adjustments to this one as well, because this is kind of a similar thing, and we need to make this maybe about half the size. But we had good supports on there. I mean, we made this beefy, definitely beefy. So we need to make this, and we'll make this one for base 1, brace 2. Okay, on this bottom, line up the hooks. And flush mount. To plate. And we'll do, see how horrible my this, and have these flush mount to plate, and those will be that, and that. There. Yeah, totally understand. So yeah, or the other thing we could end up doing, here's another idea. We could take this and we could just have 2 and run that one across. So we could just get rid of, we could just put a slot through there. Oh, that's super tight though. Yeah, I don't think we'd be able to do that. At least for the hair bands. So yeah, we'll do that and we'll make those pieces flush there. I think that'll work. And smaller rubber bands. That's right. We'll make this note. I know my teacher that taught me how to write is probably, she's rolling over in her grave. But yeah, I mean, that works out good. We just need to do a little bit of adjustment on that. The tops seem okay, but I could even go flush with that as well, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do that. But they printed out okay. But maybe if we do the flat top, but I want more. This is going to have to be printed we're gonna have to fill this up pretty good. So yeah, it's gonna be real super dense. You're not thinking big enough. It should have been magnifying glass LED lighting, a grip that fits your hand perfectly. Cool. It needs a gear mechanism that you twist and open those that have drawn out. Oh yeah, that would be good. I think you can use a spiraling track. When you turn it, they will kind of get forced in. You know, it's funny that you mentioned that, because actually I think I saw something like that. I'll have to get online and look at that. But how we could do that and add this stuff onto it, you know, like this. Of course, if it's all by itself and it just rotates, but I want to be able to add the brace and things like that. But interesting. Of course, if there's some rotating spring magic sorcery action that you got going on, then what that would end up being is you wouldn't be able to attach these to here. But then if that's all that does, but then you have to be able to take this head off, and you wouldn't be able to rotate that. So I guess what I'm saying is you'd have to find a way to add this on there. So that is an interesting situation. So I could see where, yeah, you'd have to have some type of gearing mechanism, or like you said, spring. I don't know if you could print one out or aftermarket or whatever. Interesting. Let's go for this. And this is about 82. So we need to take that down to about 40. Let's just say 40. I'll do that. 40. And if we do 40, then we'll only need, we'll just do a little brace, and then we'll do a circle, and then a piece that comes right there, our little dots or whatever going around, and then we'll have our little removal section, and again, we'll have our little, so we'll only have 2 mounts, or 2 braces there. And this is pretty thick. I ended up doing this, I think, at 4 layers or 4 walls, and then like 15% gyroid. But that ain't going anywhere. Now that's a little bendy. So, but I want to make this so, I mean, I could hold this. So basically, if this is on like this and you have to go upside down, then you can hold this. But I've got huge hands, so yeah. And you know what they say when you have big hands. It's hard to find gloves and other things. So we'll drop that down from 80, that's what, 85? That's 85. So we'll make that 42. And so the 42 will be about, right, or maybe 45 would be good. Let's make that 45. Two braces. Still have the holes, everything else, we're good to go. And the height needs to be, let's go ahead and kind of the same thing. So if we have a bigger one, that's going to go out like that. And so kind of the same thing. come out, because that goes out about 50. But it doesn't need to be that much. So we could actually come to, let's just say about right there. Actually, it's not going to do me any good. This will do me good. We have our acrylic paint markers. That will work out really, really well. Okay, so we'll do that. Bring that in to that mark, and we should be good to go. So, there it is. So we've got some work to do. We've got some work to do. But other than that, yeah. And I think this is a good size. Again, I got some big hands, but I think that'll work. I mean, you could end up like that, and even with some small hands, I'll have to ask my wife and see if she can hold this like that or like that, and that should be all right. When you have time, Google and search connecting gripping mechanism based on iris diaphragm for modular autonomous robots. Holy crow. You do realize that I'm like a crayon paper type of dude. But yeah, I'll look that up. We'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens with that. Okay. I'm gonna have to look up those words you wrote and see what goes on with that. Okay, so there it is. I don't think anything's a success the first time out of the box, especially for me. But this went better than I thought. I should have thought this through because I was making the original version of this. I was making so that it would accommodate this, and basically, you know, anything that's a large that would use this, and that would be in the center, and so then that would make sense. And then there's also a smaller one. So this was made for this, and I didn't adjust it. I just got excited. So basically, if you had something like a larger miniature, kind of like this, but even then, that's a lot. That would still need to come in. So yeah, I was still wrong. Okay. Alrighty, so there it is. I have some more work to do on my project for 2026. So back to the drawing board. At least I know the direction that I need to go, and we need to adjust this brace. We need to adjust the top. We need to put some pull tabs on there, secure that one in there, leave these other two sliding. I need to change the base so that these aren't just like hanging like hanging chads. We will bring this up to the same level as that. So that way support removal will be easier, and yeah, we'll have a little bit more material there. So we won't get stuff like that. That's not. And I think part of that is that I had this one too high up, and I think that's why that came off. I'm pretty darn sure of it. So we will do that, line up the hooks, flush to the plate, and then on the second brace, on this one here, we'll drop this from 82 to 45. And the other thing, could do that. So basically it's going to look like that. And the model will kind of go, let's see, as far as the height, we probably, Orc is getting a workout today. And that comes out there. And again, I think we'd be good with 100 because that would be good enough. So I think we'll do the same thing, the 100 there and the 100 height on that. Orc is such a good helper. Height 100, same as B1. Okay, so there it is. That was our project. Okay, other than that, yeah, we'll have to do a little handhold thing and see if this, if the wife can hold this in her hand. She's like 5'3" and $110, so we'll see how that goes. But all of that worked out good. I mean, maybe, yeah, maybe just we get a little bit of a, see that little bit of light there, right there. So we can drop these down into this. That'll be the other thing, 5. Drop nubs on top. A skosh. Okay, there it is. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. I might be able to figure out something similar. Also says robotics is basically advanced Legos. Yeah, that's true. I did Legos, did Lincoln Logs. Can you make the rubber bands go internal? For this part. I would have to have something to pull them and attach to. I don't know. That would have to be a whole redesign of this and these. Alrighty. We'll see. We shall see. The other thing I'm wondering is if I set these two and they're solid, so in other words, they're glued to this top basically, would I be able to put a mini on there? So you see we got these things there in the way, so I might have to raise this up. So this piece here, which would give me more real estate for the rubber bands to go around because that's really small. And then this flat surface here would raise up so that would go up as well. And then that way, what I'm talking about is the mini would be able to sit flat on that, but these are in the way. And I think that's what I want to end up doing. Okay. Which, 6. Top hooks. Same as bottom. And so that way, what I'm wondering is, if we could take 2 of these, have these set in place, and then we just have one moving. So that was kind of the thing that I was looking at. So obviously, since we need to redo this, where's my thing? Oh, there it is. Oh, I did a little painting on the terrain. This one was with those acrylic pens, those Just Art pens. I think that came out kind of good. Little squirrel moment there. So yeah, see how that was like really, I don't know how long that would have lasted with pressure on it. I mean, this way it's good. Well, maybe not. Okay, lesson learned on that. Doing some reverse engineering because I wanted that to sit flat on that. But here's what I was thinking. If we put these here, we have those set, and that would fit that miniature. So these two would be glued into place, and this one would be the only one that would move. Seriously. See what I'm saying? It kind of makes sense. So if I did that, but I would need to bring that in there, and then this one would be the only one that slides. So if I did something like that, those just slide too easy. And like that, and then this one would be the only one that would move. But then you'd have to make sure so that could work. Do that. And then if you did a larger one, wouldn't be able to sit, but you would still be able to get that one, and that would be good. Yes. So we can accommodate for this base, but then if you get a larger base, what if you have a larger base? That's the question on that, because that's like a 45. So that could work out. So that would accommodate the original Warhammer one, which is like 32. And then that one is 46. 32 through 46. And I'm wondering if there's other bigger ones. Let's see. Is the layer orientation, you may need to print it in a different layer orientation. Yeah, that's true. If those two don't move, they don't really need a rubber band or need to stick out extra. Yeah, we could just kind of put that in there. But with this, that we'd still have a little bit of a nub coming out to be able to do that. So you can do that. I don't know if there'd be enough material to do that. But this one, yeah, if we just had this one, that's the only one that moved. That would be better because you could have just one pull tab. I'll have to look at that and see how I could make this for these two that would be set and made with this. Because the problem that we would end up having is that sticks out. Where's my little pointer? I need my pointer. Is that is where that would have to catch. is right there. So I could make this a little bit bigger, make the circle bigger to come out like another 8. So these two could be set, these two could be set, and then this one would be the only one that would move. And then so that way you would still be able to get your mini, a 32 millimeter in there. Like so. And then you would be able to just move this one and have your pull tab that way. Seven. Bigger top. About what, another 8 to 10. 8 to 10 millimeters. To do something like that. Now would make that bigger. So we get more real estate. We need to bring this up. Increase. Top height. Probably the same as the bottom, which would be good, because that would give us a little bit more, and that is about 10. Increase top to 10 millimeters, because right now that's about 5, so that would be double. So that would work, and that would give us some more real estate on this. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So there we have it. Let's see what else. Other questions. What's the biggest size base that you plan on doing with that size rig? That's the question. I mean, obviously it'll fit, the regular 32 millimeter base. I don't know if this is normal or not, but that was 45 millimeters. Any other base? I mean, I got square bases. Those would be able to fit, but I rarely do those. Let me see, look at some other things. And see. As far as minis, I mean, honestly, I mean, I blew this guy up. This is from Apex Legends. And this base is obviously bigger because this guy's bigger. He's supposed to be 32 millimeters. So, but am I going to be doing this? Probably not. So I think if we're able to get 32 to 50, and we're able to do a 50 milliliter, which is, well, this is 50. So, yeah, we'd have to make that top bigger to accommodate a 50. I think that would be a good idea. Make the top bigger, 8 to 10 meters. Many bases. 32 to 50, which is this guy here, and of course the Warhammer one. So I think that would be a good range. I think that would be good to go on that. So if we did that, it basically, it would kind of look like that, which would work as well. So that's not too big of a deal. And it gives you a little bit of a, if this was a little bit bigger, you have a little bit more room underneath, because it would basically go out about like that. So you have a little bit more room for your finger to catch. So that would work. Okay, alrighty. Definitely way too big. Okay, I think that's what we got going on. Anything else? Feels good. Feels good in the hand when I hold it. I can do the 2 fingers. So I do slider. I could almost do a knuckleball. So yeah, like that, like that. That's comfortable. And if that's a little bit higher, then we'd be able to clear probably about right there. So yeah, increasing this height would be good for somebody who has big hands. And then, like I said, I'll see if the wife can hold this, and we should be good to go. Any other things? We will check that later. Obviously, I got some things to do. Things to do. Not too many things. It's a lot of things, but yeah. Ladama says, I have 1,000 more ideas. Yeah, it's not the shortage of ideas, that is for sure. Not the shortage of ideas. Okay, so that's it. That's the project that we're working on. It's going to take a little bit more, do some more hours. It is almost 9 o'clock on 2 January. So we definitely have something to work on in this early part of 2026, which is amazing. But it's a welcome challenge. This should be fun. I think this will be a good project. I really think this will be nice. I mean, honestly, I already have all of this stuff, which, I mean, I've already got this. I didn't have to make this at all. I mean, it's there. It's already there. Now, if I could just make this so it has a little holder and something like that, and that's what I thought about doing at first, but this post here isn't long enough. And even if I kind of smush this down a little bit, it wouldn't be strong enough. It's just not enough real estate there. So I was like, let's just make a new one. And then, for somebody who's just getting into it, I mean, they could print this out and not have to spend the money that I spent on this. So they could save a little bit of money. Alrighty, well, thanks, Ladamas, for all the great ideas. I'll still have to look up some of those big words of connecting gripping mechanism based on diaphragm for modular autonomous robots. You are the man. So that's it. Okay, cool. Well, we're going to go ahead and sign off, and we will be sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you all on the next video. Yes, we will try to do another video. We'll try to get all this stuff done. We'll see how that goes. I think I'll spend some work doing that because today is Friday, tomorrow's Saturday, so I don't really have a big day planned. So yeah, boom, lattes and PLA lattes. That's what we're going to be doing. All right. Well, hey, everybody, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Be sure to check out my other videos, like, subscribe, check the box or ring the bell, whatever it is that you got to do. And we will see you on the next video. Peace. Good stuff, good stuff.